tricks for the cat show. I've been doing the cat show for the past 10 years. I have won Grand Champion twice, been reserve champion once, and have medaled in showmanship for the past 7 years. So today we're going to start off by talking about the cage. So when you show up to the fair, the metal cage will be provided to you, and you will be tasked with putting down sheets to cover the bottom and the top of the cage, and to create an environment for your cat to stay in during the show. What I like to do is I like to take bath towels to lay on the bottom, just to help the cage not slide around as much and provide a place for your cat to kind of grip if they're stressed out. I also take an old sheet, it can be fitted or just a top sheet, and I put that over the top to kind of enclose them, make them feel a little bit safer, and to kind of block out the other cats that might be at the show. Safety pins are really helpful for this. It kind of helps secure the edges, especially when it's really windy. Within the cage, you'll also want to bring something to hold litter, something to hold food, and something to hold water. For litter, I like to use little baking, aluminum baking pans that are like the single use. You can find those at Walmart, and then just put a little layer of litter in the bottom. Don't be worried if your cat tries to lay in the litter. It tends to be cooler during the show, and when they're stressed, they're trying to find someplace cool to hang out. For food and water, I use shallow dishes, and I fill those before the show. Before showmanship, I typically pull the food so that I can put it in right before I go to talk to the judge so that it isn't spilt. And you can also include any toys that your cat plays with at home to kind of make them feel like they're more at home. Moving on to what you want to do before the show, a couple things that I always do is I always clean my cat's ears at least the night before the show, as well as clip their claws. You will get dock points if you do not do this, and clipping claws is required for the show. To clean the cat's ears, I found this ear cleaning solution at a couple different pet stores, and then I just put a couple drops in the ear, massage it in, and then use Q-tips to get out any dirt and debris. For clipping claws, there are a couple different options of nail clippers. Jog nail clippers work great, and you'll just want to be really careful not to cut too far into the claw to make sure that you don't bleed. Another thing that is important is to make sure that you have a harness for your cat. In the manual, breakaway collars and harnesses are mentioned, and while breakaway collars are great for cats since they can come off if they get stuck, that also allows them to escape when they're at the fair. I prefer using harnesses just because I know that my cat's going to be secure in it. And then make sure that you have a nice sturdy leash to attach to that harness. You also need to provide any vet records that you have. These will also get sent into the office before the show, and this allows you to show the judge what vaccines your cat has gotten in the past year, as well as provide the information on the weight of your cat's age, and their coloring. When you hold your cat to bring to the judge's table, there's a specific way you want to make sure that you are supporting the butt of the cat as well as all of the legs. And then I like to take my leash, loop it over my hand, and then hold behind the neck of the cat to pet them and keep them calm. And then I'll bring them up to the judge's table, set them down, and let them lay down or stand up, depending on what they want to do. And then once you're done talking to the judge, you'll bring your cat back to the cage. Some important things to remember when you're talking to the judge is to mention something special about your cat. This actually is worth points in showmanship, and it's a way to tell the judge some interesting facts about your cat, what they like to do. Do they like to watch birds? Was there an interesting way that you got your cat? And then, just have a conversation with the judge. It seems scary at first, but the judge is just another person, and you're just telling them all about your cat. So good luck. Make sure you have fun in the show. When your cat's being judged, clear and bright and there's no discharge. Ears, making sure they're free of dirt and mites. That's why you need to make sure that you clean the ears out before the show. The nose, to make sure there's no discharge. The teeth, the judge will look to see if there's any plaque. Just lift up the gums. Weight, this varies on cat, but you're going to want to make sure that your cat is an acceptable weight for the type of cat and the age of cat. The skin will also be judged to make sure it's not too dry, not too oily. The claws, you need to make sure that they're clipped. Coat condition and texture. Windy here is a long-haired cat, so I would want to make sure that she's got a nice silky coat, she doesn't have any mats or tangles, and that she doesn't have any bald patches. The cats are also judged on if they have all of the vaccines that they need, which are rabies and feline distemper, and then just general health. So if the judge notices something that might be a little off, they'll write you a comment on your judging sheet and talk to you about that. For showmanship, you'll be judged on your cage area, which is food, water, litter, the covering, making sure it's appropriate, as well as if the cage is clean. You'll also be judged on what you're wearing. So appropriate attire for the cat show would be your Saunders County 4-H t-shirt, jeans or other long pants, and closed-toed shoes. You also want to make sure that you don't have any jewelry in that the cat could snag, and you want to make sure that your hair is up if you have longer hair. Also for showmanship, you're going to be judged on how you handle your cat. So Wendy is a really good example of a cat that handles fairly easy. She's a pretty small cat, which helps to keep control of her. So if you have a cat that likes to fight you a little bit more, you may want to work with them a little bit before the show to make sure that you're able to carry them up to the table and keep control of your animal. For showmanship, you'll basically have a little speech prepared that will go over any vaccines that your cat has, if they're spayed or neutered, what they eat, if they're given food at a specific time, or if they're given food all throughout the day and they can pick and choose when they eat, their general health, grooming information, so did you give your cat a bath before the show, did you brush them every day, that kind of thing, and then what makes your cat special. And then with showmanship, there'll also be a test. This varies based on age range, so the juniors will have an easier test than the seniors. And this will have basic information from your cat and you book. It's got basic information about cat health, what to do when you first get a kitten, and basic care and handling of cats. So that's an overview of what you'll be judged on within the cat show. I hope you have a good time.